Hello students, today we are discussing about morphological identification of important molds and yeast in foods. The gross appearance of a mold growing on a food is often enough to indicate its genus. Mold grow on foods with its fuzzy or cottony appearance, sometimes colored. Special molds are useful in the manufacture of certain foods or ingredients of foods. Thus, some kinds of cheese are mold ripened. For example, Blue, Roquefort, Camembert, Brie, Gamemlost, etc. And molds are used in making oriental foods. For example, soya sauce, miso, sonti, etc. Molds have been grown to produce products used in foods such as amylase for bread making or citric acid used in soft chinks. Some molds do produce various toxic metabolites like mycotoxins. Now we will learn about general characteristics of molds. Molds are non-motile, filamentous and branched. The cell wall of mold is composed of cellulose, chitin or both. The term mold is a common one applied to certain multicellular filamentous fungi whose growth on foods usually is readily recognized by its fuzzy or cottony appearance. Colored spores are typical of mature mold of some kinds and give color to part of or all of the growth. Now we will learn about some of the important morphological characteristics of the mold. Hyphae and mycelium. The mold thallus consists of a mass of branching intertwined filaments called hyphae, singular hyphae, and the whole mass of these hyphae is known as the mycelium. The hyphae may be submerged or growing within the food or aerial or growing into the air above the food. Molds are divided into two groups basically. One is septate, the other one is non-septate. The first one septate, that is with cross walls dividing the hyphae into cells, and the second one is non-septate molds with the hyphae apparently consisting of cylinders without cross walls. The non-septate hyphae have nuclei scattered throughout their length and are considered multicellular. Special mycelial structures or pods aid in the identification of molds. Examples are the rhizoids or holdfast of Rhizopus and Obsidia, the foot cell in Aspergillus and the dichotomous or Y-shaped branching in Geotrichum. A hypha can be vegetative or reproductive. The reproductive hypha usually extends in the air and form exospores either free or in a sac. Either free, that is in conidia, or in a sac, that is in sporangium. Reproductive parts or structures of molds. Molds can grow from a transplanted piece of mycelium. Reproduction of molds is chiefly by means of asexual spores. Some molds also form sexual spores. Such molds are termed perfect and are classified as either oomycetes or zygomycetes if non-septate, or ascomycetes or basidomycetes if septate. In contrast to imperfect molds, the fungi imperfectae typically septate, which have only asexual spores. Asexual spores. The asexual spores of molds are produced in large numbers and are small, light and resistant to drying. They are readily spread through the air. Spores that settle on favorable substrates can initiate a few phases of growth and develop into a new mycelium, that is thallus. The three principal types of asexual spores are conidia, that is singular conidium, arthrospores or oidea, that is singular oidium, and sporangiospores. Conidia are cut off or bud from special fertile hyphae called conidiospores and usually are in the open, that is not enclosed in any container, in contrast to the sporangiospores which are in sporangium, that is plural sporangio, or sac at the tip of a fertile hypha, the sporangiophore. Arthrospores are formed by fragmentation of a hyphae so that the cells of the hyphae become arthrospores. A fourth kind of asexual spore, the chlamydospore, is formed by many species of mold when a cell here and there in the mycelium stores up reserve food, swell and forms a thicker wall than that of surrounding cells. The chlamydospores or resting cell can withstand unfavorable conditions better than ordinary mold mycelium can, and later under favorable conditions can grow into a new mold. Sexual spores. The molds which can produce sexual spores are classified on the basis of the manner of formation of these spores and the type produced. The non-septate molds, that is Phycomycetes, that produce oospores are termed oomycetes, and these molds are mostly aquatic. However, included in this group are several important plant pathogens. The oospores are formed by the union of a small male gamete and a large female gamete. Then the second one is zygospores. Zygomycetes from zygospores by the union of the tip of two hyphae, which often appear similar and which may come from the same mycelium or from different mycelia. Both oospores and zygospores are covered by a tough wall and can survive drying for long periods. Ascospores, the third one. The Ascomycetes septate form sexual spores known as ascospores, which are formed after the union of two cells from the same mycelium or from two separate mycelia. The ascospores resulting from cell division after conjugation are an ascus or sac with usual 8 spores per ascus. Fourth one is basidospores. The basidomycetes, which include most mushrooms, plant rusts, smuts, etc., form a fourth type of sexual spore, the basidiospore. Now we will discuss about yeast and yeast-like fungi. Like mold, the term yeast is commonly used but hard to define. It refers to those fungi which are generally not filamentous but unicellular and ovoid or spheroid, and which reproduce by budding or fission. Yeast may be useful or harmful in foods. Yeast fermentations are involved in the manufacture of foods such as bread, beer, wines, vinegar and surface ripened cheese. Yeast are grown for enzymes and for food. Yeast are undesirable when they cause spoilage of sauerkraut, fruit juices, syrups, molasses, honey, jellies, meat, wine, beer and other foods. Now we will learn about morphological characteristics of yeast. Form and structure. The form of yeast may be spherical to ovoid, lemon shaped, pear shaped, cylindrical, triangular or even elongated into a false or true mycelium. They also differ in size. Visible parts of the structure are the cell wall cytoplasm, water vascules, fat globules and granules, which may be metachromatic, albuminous or starchy. Special staining is necessary to demonstrate the nucleus in yeast. They are non-motile. The cell wall contains polysaccharides, that is glycans, proteins and lipids. The wall can have scars indicating the sites of budding. The membrane is beneath the wall. The cytoplasm has a finely granular appearance for ribosomes and organelles. The nucleus is well defined with a nuclear membrane. Now we will learn about yeast of industrial importance. Most yeast used industrially are in the genus Saccharomyces. The term wild yeast is applied to any yeast other than the one being used or encouraged. Thus, yeast employed in one process could be a wild yeast in another. Most of the troublesome wild yeast are aspergillus or false yeasts. Now, we will learn about different types of yeast of industrially important. First one is genus Schizosaccharomyces. These yeasts which reproduce asexually by fission and form 4 or 8 ascospores per ascus after isogamic conjugation have been found in tropical fruits, molasses, soil, honey and elsewhere. A common species is S. pombe. Genus Saccharomyces. Cells of these yeast may be round, ovate or elongated and may form a pseudomycelium. Reproduction is by multipolar budding or by ascospore formation. The ascospores 1 to 4 per ascus are usually round or ovate. The leading species S. cerevisiae is employed in many food industries with special strains used for the leavening of bread as top yeast for ale, for wines and for the production of alcohol, glycerol and invertase. Top yeast are very active fermenters and grow rapidly at 20 degree centigrade temperature. The clumping of the cells and the rapid evaluation of carbon dioxide sweep the cells to the surface, hence the term top yeast. Bottom yeast do not clump, grow more slowly and are best fermenters at low temperatures, that is 10 to 15 degree centigrade temperature. The absence of clumping and the slower growth and evolution of carbon dioxide permit the yeast to settle to the bottom, hence the term bottom yeast. These characteristics of brewer's yeast are observations and do not explain why some yeast clump or flocculate. S. cerevisiae, a high alcohol yielding variety, is used to produce industrial alcohol, wines and distilled liquors. S. euphorium, a bottom yeast, is used in making beer. S. fragilis and S. lactis, because of their ability to ferment lactose, may be important in milk and milk products. S. rousii and S. milius are osmophilic in nature. Many of the Saccharomyces have been reclassified. For example, S. euphorium is now considered a variant of S. cerevisiae. S. fragilis is now K. maximus. S. lactis is now K. maximus lactis. These yeast reproduce by multilateral budding and ascospores are liberated upon maturity. Then comes genus Zygosaccharomyces. These yeast are notable for their ability to grow in high concentrations of sugar, hence they are termed osmophilic and are involved in the spoilage of honey, syrups and molasses and in the fermentation of soya sauce and some wines. Genus Pichia. These oval to cylindrical yeast may form pseudomycelia. Ascospores are round or hat shaped and there are 1 to 4 ascus. A pellicle is formed on liquids, that is P. membranae fasciens grows a pellicle on beets or wines. Genus Hansinula. These yeast resemble Pichia in appearance but are usually more fermentative, although some species form pellicles. Ascospores are hat or saturn shaped. Genus Deibariomyces. These round or oval yeast form pellicles on meat brains. Ascospores have a warty surface. D. cloacae grows on cheese and sausage. Genus Hansinia aspora. These lemon shaped apiculate yeast grow on fruit juices. Nodosonia yeast are large and lemon shaped. Then we will learn about false yeast, that is fungi imperfect. Under that first comes genus Torulopsis. These round to oval fermentative yeast with multilateral budding cause trouble in breweries and spoil various foods. T. sperica ferments lactose and may spoil milk products. Other species can spoil sweetened condensed milk, fruit juice concentrates and acid foods. Genus Candida. These yeast form pseudohyphae or true hyphae with abundant budding cells or blastospores and may form chlamydiospores. Many form films and can spoil foods high in acid and salt. C. utilis is grown for food and feed. C. cruzi has grown with dairy starter cultures to maintain the activity and increase the longevity of the lactic acid bacteria. Lipolytic. The C. lipolytica can spoil butter and oleomargarine. Genus Brettanomyces. These arch-shaped yeast produce high amounts of acid and are involved in the late fermentation of Belgian lambic beer and English beers. They are also found in French wines and B. bruxellosis and B. lambicus are typical species. Genus Cloacaria. These are imperfect apiculate or lemon-shaped yeast. K. apiculata is common on fruits and flowers and in the soil. Genus Trichosporan. These yeast bud and form arthospores. They grow best at low temperatures and are found in breweries and on chilled beef. T. pullulans is a common species. Genus Rhodotorula. These red, pink or yellow yeast may cause discolorations on foods. Example, colored spots on meat or pink areas in sauerkraut. Okay students, today we have discussed about morphological identification of important molds and yeast in foods. Under this we have discussed about general and morphological characteristics of yeast and molds and some industrially important yeasts.